Freedom Kingdom LLC, and we're here today to talk to you about credit repair. One of the major obstacles in homeownership is somebody's credit score not being where it needs to be. You know, my first step as an agent is to make sure that I get my clients with a lender so that they can understand what their purchasing power is, what their financial abilities are. And typically, if we run into some kind of credit issue, what's the first thing a lender's going to say most of the time? Oh, you've got a lot of debt that you need to pay down. You need to pay this and you need to pay that. And that has some merit to it. But Trenace is here to talk to us about some other ways to efficiently improve that credit score.
Absolutely. Yeah, but so what I see so often, like I speak to so many people and they're like, well, last year I got my tax money, I just went and I just paid everything off. And I thought it was going to fix my credit, but it didn't work. Right. And I'm like, yes, and that's why I'm always so vocal about knowing how to remove negative items from your credit report. And people don't know that paying a debt doesn't delete a debt. Right, paying a collection doesn't remove it all the time. And there's some companies that if you pay it, they'll delete it. But in most cases, it's like it's still there. It'll show paid, but paid, it's still a collection that was paid, right? So we want that collection to be completely removed so that you can get that increase that you're hoping for and looking for in the first place.
What are some of the most common negative items that you find on people's credit reports?
Yep, so typically medical bills, and sometimes it's an error, right? So sometimes the insurance company doesn't pick up the tab. So it goes to collection, and then sometimes, you know, we get mail, we'll have stuff sitting there, we don't always open them up in time, and then before you know it, now you have a medical collection that you didn't know about. So medical collections pile up pretty quickly. Just collections in general, charge-offs, late payments are huge, and so many people, it can seem very small, right? Oh, I just missed a payment, but no, late payments make up 35% of the credit score.
Wow.
Right? So
that's a big part of your credit.
It's huge. It's the biggest piece. So paying on time is huge, so late payments can really impact your score. And you know, your 30-day late, 60-day late, you know, 120-day late, they pile up really quickly. So that's typically what we see.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that a client would expect once they come to you to work on their credit?
Yep, I think the biggest piece is really knowing where you stand. You know, you can't just say, okay, I want to buy a house this year, and then you just monitor your credit on Credit Karma, and you're just trying to do it yourself, and you don't really know what the end game is, right? So the biggest thing I think, you know, is you say meeting with a lender, right? Seeing where you stand so you know, hey, this is what I really need to work on, and then having an expert, you know, talking to me, and we can sit down and look at your credit report and say, this is what we need to do, and then address those areas that need work. Because maybe it's not that you have bad credit, you know, maybe you just don't have enough credit established. And so we can work on removing negatives, right? But if you don't have enough quality, good credit to compensate and to boost your score, you're never going to get the increase that you're looking for. So you definitely want to make sure that, you know, whether your situation is, okay, I have some negative items I need to address, we address those. If it's just building, great, we'll do that. But maybe it's both. Maybe you need both, and we just need to put a game plan together and just stick with you on that to get you where you need to be. And I call it the promised land, which is a house with you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So. Well, is there anything else in particular that you want to touch on while we're chatting today?
Yeah, so I think, you know, people can get a little discouraged sometimes, and I just always try to just encourage my clients, like life does happen, and typically what I see is, you know, maybe it's been a change in jobs, right, or layoffs, or we just hear all the time companies are closing down, and that's unfortunate. So you have, you know, life changes like divorces. So many people that I speak with, you know, went through a bad divorce or a bad breakup, a relationship, and, you know, splitting up stuff, and just finances got really, really tough. Medical situations, you know, if someone gets in a car accident or gets sick, or a family member gets sick, that can have, it doesn't have to always be them, but that can have a huge impact. So life happens, right? And so sometimes we don't have control over it. So just be encouraged to know that you can bounce back. Like, you don't have to just be stuck and, you know, I don't want to look at my credit, or I'm not going to be able to buy a house. Like, there is hope, and you could very well be closer to home ownership or whatever your goals are. Closer than what you even think you are, but you have to, you know, say face the music. You know, we have to face it. We have to look at it, and we can get through it. And you can bounce back. I've had so many people. We've had people in our program that thought they couldn't buy a house. We got them into the program, worked on their credit, and before you know it, you know, 3 to 6 months, they were homeowners. and it just seems like it was impossible at one point. But you can do it. You're probably a lot closer than what you think. But let's just have that conversation. Get with the lender, have a conversation with all of us, and then we can get you that game plan and make it happen for you.
Absolutely,
because it can happen. And credit, why I love it so much is just a matter of tweaking a few things. Do this, you get a great score. Don't do this, you get a great score. So it's putting those things together, we can definitely make it happen without a doubt.
Absolutely. And I love how you said you just need to start the conversation. Start the conversation with an agent. Start the conversation with a lender. Definitely come start that conversation with Trenace, and let's see what we can do with your credit.
And one more piece, and I touched on it a little teeny bit. I know it's tax season, right? And it just makes sense. Oh, I'll just go pay. And the lenders, when they say go and pay debts, like if you have an open credit card, yes, do pay down that credit card because that's going to get you the quickest increase, right? An open account. But if you have collections, I'm never going to say don't pay anything that you owe, but you have to know how to pay it. And there's no point in just paying something if it's not going to get you the results that you want, right? Which is to clean it up. You're paying because you want it to go away. So please, let's have that conversation to strategize how to get that negative item removed, because the law says, first of all, anything on your credit report has to be verified 100% accurately. And if it's not verified, then it needs to be deleted. And so we go through a series of dispute letters to get those negative items investigated, verified, or deleted. Okay, so we will help you get the negative items removed from your credit that you say you want to address. And if you want to settle, we can help you with settling. I'm not talking about calling up and saying, hey, what will you take for this? Let me pay it. No, let's not do that. It's okay to find out first of all, that's not my debt, right? You want to say, I'm calling you, but I'm not saying that this is my debt. I'm just wondering what you would take as a settlement should I decide to pay it. It's okay to know what that balance is that they'll take, that amount, and then we can work on a pay for delete letter, which would be you sending a letter saying I will settle for this amount if you agree to delete it from all three of the bureaus like it never happened, right? So that's, a lot of people don't know about that, but that's how you really want to get it deleted, either through dispute or either your own settlement offer letter that they agree to delete it. Don't pay it if they're not going to delete it. And getting them to say they'll delete it over the phone is still not good enough because you have nothing in writing. They'll just take your money because they are just trying to collect as much as possible, without getting you what you want, and that's the deletion. So just make sure you have strategies and you partner with us so that we can get your credit ratings to be. Don't waste your money, your good, hardworking tax dollars thinking you're going to fix your credit and it's not going to work.
Right.
Okay?
And that's why you need a specialist like Trenace here, so that somebody can guide you to do the most efficient thing to take care of your credit, to make sure that you're spending your dollars wisely so that you can achieve the goals that you want, especially if homeownership is on there, but great credit will open doors to a whole lot of other things. So thank you so much, Trenace, for being here with me today. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. If you'd like to see this content again, please visit besteasternshore.homes.com. This video, along with the companion blog, is going to be available for you so you can come back to reference it. And please feel free to reach out at any time if you need any real estate or credit help. Thank you so much for joining us.